Hey, what's going on? I'm Mark. Last night we had some thunderstorms. The humidity finally broke, so we have a beautiful summer afternoon here. You know what that means? Time to plant some trees. Let's go. Just like the last video, I didn't know these trees were coming. They were surprises to me. I'm assuming we have 2 trees in here, and another mystery box right here. Although to be honest, these big brown boxes with the trees in them are pretty heavy, so I'm quite curious to see what's inside. As with the last planting video, we need to clear space to plant these trees, dig some holes, get them in the ground, get some mulch, get some water. It's gonna be a good time. But first, let's open these boxes and see what we have. We're gonna start by cutting the tape off. And then peeling these staples back. Yep, as I suspected, there's more than 1 tree in here. 1, 2 is what I see. Let's grab the slip here and see what we have. A Granny Smith, a Gala apple, and a Honeycrisp apple. These trees were sent to me from my aunt and uncle. Well, thank you very much. This was quite the surprise. Let's open the second box. Well, now that we know what we're dealing with, we have 3 2-year-old apple trees. I'm going to clear a space for them. I'm going to plant them all in a bit of a triangle, probably about 8 to 10 feet apart. Okay, I've cleared a space behind me for 1 tree, and I've spaced along my previously mowed trail for the other 2. I'm going to lay them all out and see how the spacing looks. Well, that looks pretty good. In front of me is the Honeycrisp. To my left is the Granny Smith, and behind me to my right is the Gala apple tree. Spacing looks good, I'm happy with it. Let's dig some holes right next to these bases, unwrap these trees, and get them in the ground. There we go. We got 3 holes for 3 trees. The next step is to get them out of the containers and get them in the dirt. This first tree I'm unwrapping is the Gala tree. You may have noticed at the top that it's been cut off. There's a couple reasons for this. The first is the most obvious. You have to make it fit in the package. The second is that the larger a tree's upper structure is, the larger its root structure has to be to support that top canopy layer. By cutting off the top of the tree and reducing the amount of limbs and branching and growth up top, it also reduces the amount of roots that are down below. This tree has a really cool example of something I want to show you here at the base. Most of the trees you get at the grocery store grown commercially are a grafted variety. That means the root stock of the tree is one variety, and the upper portion of the tree with the actual fruit is the apple that you know. So the Gala apple that we have here is actually just from this point on the root graft above the tree. Everything below it is the root stock. The root stock determines the susceptibility of the tree to disease, the vigor and aggressiveness of the growth, and many other factors. What we can see here is this little leaf growing next to the tree is actually coming from the root. That means that this little leaf is from the parent tree, from the root stock. If it were to grow, it would not have the Gala apple fruit that you know. Let's take this tree out of the pot. So you see right here, this is what we call a root bound effect. When the roots hit the edge of the container, they hit a wall and they just circle around and grow and grow and grow. If we were to put the tree in the ground like this, these roots are going to stay where they are. They're going to get bigger and thicker, and eventually they're going to wrap around themselves and constrict themselves and stunt the growth of this tree, perhaps even kill it. So instead of putting the tree in the ground like this, we're going to take it and just start breaking this up loosely. Break the sod apart, the top, the bottom. You can hit a little bit if you have to. And try and pull without ripping too much or tearing too much. try and pull some of these root hairs out so they grow in different directions. This is very important to do with any trees purchased in a container or a pot. Now that we've roughed it up a bit, you can see more of the natural structure of the root fibers. Although this will increase the shock and we were a bit aggressive with the tree, it's important for the long-term survivability. You see here, we have a long root here. And another one here. Roots like this are part of the reason we want to dig a hole bigger than the actual root ball itself. So when I lay this tree in the hole here, I'm going to make sure these roots spread out in different directions, heading either even to or down against the soil line. We don't need them coming up above the soil. And they don't have to be straight, they don't have to be perfect, just generally angle some of them away from the parent tree. After our tree's in the ground, let's straighten it slightly so it'll grow vertical up into the sun and start to backfill the dirt. Remember, we want that graft mark above the soil line, not below it. If it sinks below the soil line, we're going to have new suckers sprouting from the root, from the parent tree, and that's not what we want. We want the growth to be on this guy up here, the Gala apple tree, not the parent rootstock. The first tree's in the ground. I'm going to do the same thing with the other two trees and be right back. Well, there we go. All three trees are in the ground. You know what's next. We're going to water each of them, mulch them, water them again, and that's it. Let's do it. Well guys, there we go. We got 3 more trees in the ground. That's it for today. I'm gonna come back and water these again in a minute, water them tonight, clean up the site here, and call it good. Until the next time, I'll see, wait, what? Oh, I almost forgot. Our mystery box. Let's see what's inside, huh? It looks like we have some newspaper, and inside of that, guys, a log, but not just any log. Check this out. It's a shiitake mushroom log. Look closely here. Can you see? There are little plugs that have been inoculated with shiitake spores. The instructions are pretty simple. Stand the log upright in full shade where it can get rained and snowed on, lean against a tree. It must be outside year-round. That's it. Let's find a shady spot, which is a little tricky here. It's pretty sunny. I think I have a spot picked out though, just over here. Just behind me here is one of the tallest trees on the property. It's probably 15 or 20 feet tall. I admit, I don't know what kind of tree it is. Maybe you can tell me, but it's probably the shadiest tree in the property. So I'm gonna put this log right there underneath its base, stand it upright, and let it go. We'll see what happens. Okay guys, for real, that's it this time. We planted 3 trees today. A Granny Smith, a Gala, and a Honeycrisp. In addition to that, we really started to make this thing a forest by planting a mushroom log. How cool is that? Until next time, I'll see you in the forest.